Well, it was a very tight session, but Plato finally comes away with the pole.
Again, that was a moment in where I did not realise I'd just completed qualifying. But anyways, Plato once again sits on the pole like he did in the first race. Bintcliffe is second ahead of Thompson and Beeler. Qualified 11th in the end, so not really expecting the miraculous performance I put up in race 1 just to get P5. But as long as I can at least come out of this race with a point or so, then I should be in a good enough position to clinch the championship. So, I did manage to come away with P5 in the first race, but we're on to the second race now. It's a completely different kettle of fish from what we had before, and it is fair to say chaos will be lurking around every corner, stalking me whilst I am basically in the wings of a Volvo S40 waiting to intercept and gather whatever positions I can gather. It seems to be the mentality I'm using at this stage, and there really isn't any other way I can do this. So, already overtaking both of the Hondas now, and short shifting as I go through the Clark curve, named of course after the great Jim Clark, who won here at Brands Hatch for the British Grand Prix back in 1964. I think that was also the first time F1 actually held a race here at Brands Hatch. I know the year was 1964, when they first had the British Grand Prix here at Brands Hatch. And it is fair to say Jim Clark definitely established himself as being the first winner. And just staying out of the way there of both the Hondas, because I knew that whilst they were attempting to pass me, they were probably going to wreck themselves. Whilst I was basically doing whatever it took to stay on the defense, the Hondas went and intercepted onto the offense. I dove to the outside, waiting for whatever they were attempting to do to just happen. It was unavoidable. I really had to make sure I was staying out of the way, and I can definitely say that was a lucky escape. Or to me personally, I can definitely say that was a lucky escape. But anyway, so running in P5 again here at Brands Hatch, and maybe if I don't get wrecked before the end of this race like I was in the previous race, like I was able to do in the previous race, there is a definite possibility I could come out of here with another 5th placed run, if I can manage to hold on to this position for long enough and use the very similar blocking tactics to what I used in the first race. Of course there will be some wrecks involved, but either way, it's the only way I can really prove I'm not going to be the pushover. I did come out of here with at least 6 points in the first race, and I can definitely say those were some hard fought 6 points I claimed. And if I can manage to more or less do the same thing here, then hopefully I can manage to achieve all of this without tripping over myself too much. This is definitely the sort of position I was needing to be in. And basically, if I can stay in this position, no matter what menu does, I will basically be the 1997 BTCC Showdown champion-elect. Basically, no matter what menu does, I will have secured the championship 2 races before the end. Of course, I did have a 61-point lead coming into this race, so if Menu does win the second race like he did the first race, then he will gain 24 points on me, but because I finished 5th, but if I finish 5th in this race, then it is fair to say I will have had the championship clinched. I will have the championship clinched by at least 37 points. And that's also if I can win the first race at Silverstone, which I can probably guarantee is certainly going to be easier than these 2 races have been. But we're not quite at the end yet. For me to finish P5 in the first race was a miracle in and of itself. But for me to get another 5th placed finish in this race, it's definitely a lot more than I could have asked for. But again, because the AI have been contradictory with their finishing positions, it's precisely what has been keeping me up front all of this time. And essentially, the recollection of the consistency as well as luck I've essentially had to coming through and basically score whatever measly points I can. Even if that means playing dirty. Which I can definitely assure you at this point of the game I've done a couple of times. Well, it looks as though the field is closing in again, so I think it's only a matter of time before the AI end up getting past me. I think I need at least 4 points. Well, probably less than 4 points. So I would say at least 2 points or so for me to come out of this and have the championship clinched. But again, if I can hold on to 5th position just long enough, then maybe I will have a shot of making this run a lot less lousy than it should have been. So, 11 laps will be completed this time around. It's also if I can manage to hold on long enough. And somehow I do. I'm going to assume the leaders must have slowed down behind me because there was a backmarker just up ahead of them. But either way, at this stage, it looks as though it's going to take a miracle for me to get back into position. But anyways. Am I surprised to say that happened? No. And there goes menu. Well, at least I can say that's one of the leaders out of my rearview mirror. As I just got rid of the Nissan that was right alongside me in Paddock Bend. I knew he wasn't going to take the corner properly, so... you know, what else was I supposed to do? Apart from just hoping for dear life that whatever did happen... I was not going to be involved in the crash when it happened. Still, P7, I'll still get at least 4 points if I manage to finish here. I can see there's a Renault right behind me. Don't really see any point in blocking him much longer. He's inevitably going to pass me, so I'll just let him go. If he can manage to clear me. And hopefully he will. Well, I kind of knew the Hondas were going to be superior to my Volvo S40. But still. Come on, forward, please. Okay. Thank you. He at least let me through. He bumped me a little bit, but he did let me through. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I think the Hondas at this stage are showing the unsung pace they essentially had in the first race, but decided not to show it because, well, I was basically blocking them for more or less every inch of my life just to make sure I got the results I was wanting. So, really doesn't surprise me to say I was going to lose a few positions. But either way, I'm still in the position I need to be in to get this championship clinched 2 races early. If everything does manage to pan out. And if I don't manage to clinch it here at Brands Hatch, then it should at least mean I will manage to clinch it. Is that Audi one of the leaders? I wonder. I hope it's one of the leaders, because if it isn't, then... oh, doesn't matter, he spun himself out. He spun himself out whilst he was trying to clear me. Anyways. I'm getting some sound issues at the moment in my headset. I don't know what's causing this. I might have to pause in a couple of laps just to see if I can get this issue sorted out. It could just be me, but it sounds like it could be a potential issue I'm having. Well, it seems to be functioning normally now, but I was hearing a blip in the soundbar of my headset for a moment there. Also, I'm pretty sure that Peugeot is racing me for position. Well, I'll just put whatever attempts he has of getting past me into futility. Into pure futility, because I really do not want to lose P7 if I'm going to get this championship clinched the way I want to get it clinched. This seems to be the only way I can really do it. But either way, as long as I at least manage to hold on to the position I want to hold on to, then maybe everything by this point will be okay. And I only say maybe. So, doesn't look like I'm going to catch up to the two Hondas ahead of me, but again, for me to be running in P7, it's definitely a position I'll take, as long as I can hold on to it for long enough and not get wrecked whilst I'm basically fending off the midfield for practically every inch of my life, whilst hoping for everything to pan out the way I want it to pan out. Oh, it's back up to me. Well, I'll basically just have to do to him what I did to him last time, even though it won't always work. But anyways. Yep, he's gonna get a run on me now. No, might as well short shift into 6th whilst I'm here. Wait for him to do the maneuver, go to the inside, and he's slotted by me. Why am I not surprised? Well, it's probably not over yet. I might be able to get him back, but either way. This seems to be where the AI are showing me their superiority. If there is anything else. And it looks as though at this stage there probably isn't. And I know the AI do not make mistakes here. Nope. Unfortunately, it looks like that's going to be another position I've now lost. Because I'm fairly certain these AI do not tend to make mistakes around here, regardless of how treacherous driving around this track in the wet really is. But anyway. Well, at least I can say I've set a new fastest lap this time. But it pretty much looks as though, unless there's traffic in front of me, like 8th position potentially is the best I can hope for. Unless I can manage to get back up to the Peugeot close enough and manage to deal with him somehow. There doesn't really seem to be much else I can do at this stage, except hope he does not get too far up ahead of me. Although in saying that, I forgot what my game plan was. And now it looks as though 8th position probably is going to be the best I can hope for. Unless that traffic in front of Tim manages to hold him up long enough to where I can catch back up to him, then maybe I will be able to get back up into P7. I would like to get back up into P7 if that was possible, but it depends on knowing how much lapped traffic there is up ahead of us, and knowing if I can manage to get back up to him or not remains contradictory. I wish I could catch him, but it looks as though the AI superiority, just as it did in the original championship, is definitely starting to show its cards here in the second race. I think my only real hope of catching up to Tim now is for the lapped traffic in front of him to hold him up long enough and for me to slot down on his inside for whatever reason. At least I can say it's not my laptop this time that's having the issues. I did look for a brief second, but fortunately it's not the issue. I thought it was. But still continuing to short shift as I go downhill from Druids because I really do not want to lose control of this car if I'm going to be going for some potentially championship clinching points here. I still want to at least race hard for the position. And I also want to prove that I am capable of at least showing I will not be put down so easily. But anyway, so closing in on one of the Ford Mondeos. Hopefully he will manage to move over for me so I can get back in the battle with Tim. I think that probably just costed me a shot at getting the position back. Well, at least I can say no one is behind me, which helps to an extent. But anyway. Continuing my run in what appears to be 8th position. I would like it if I could catch up to Tim in these next couple of laps, but it doesn't look as though that's going to be possible. Unless he ends up getting spun out by one of the backmarkers up ahead of him. That seems to be the only hope I really have of catching him now. He seems to be pulling away, so P8 is still a good position for me to be in, at least, because it does mean I will at least manage to finally clear the one track which I can say has been eluding me for weeks. Well, probably weeks and weeks now, but you know. Point is, oh, there's definitely a freight train up ahead. I might still have a shot of potentially getting P7 here, if I get lucky enough and this Ford Mondeo does not block me long enough. I could potentially be within a shot of this thing. Potentially. Well, I'm catching back up to Tim, so I might be able to reclaim the position if I get lucky long enough. I think getting the position could really be on the cards now, compared to where it was before. I think he's being blocked by... what is that? Is that John Cleland who's blocking him? It's gotta be John. I don't really think there's anybody else who's blocking him like this, except for the pack that's fighting hard for positions just up ahead of him. Oh, I think he's cleared him now. Well, I'm trying not to get too excited at this stage, but I may have lost a shot of potentially catching him now, because these back markers are not helping me. Unfortunately, that was not Tim who I punted out of the way. Well, it was nice while it lasted, but it now looks as though he has clearly moved himself away from the freight train. that was in front of him. And unless someone spins him out at this stage, then I think my contemption is going to tell me to stick with finishing P8. Even then, of course, if my brain essentially thinks I could do more than this, but no, my heart is telling me to just do what I had before and hope that whatever does happen from here becomes my saving grace. Because it seems to be the only thing I can well and truly rely on at this stage. Well, at least I can say those were the leaders. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cope with finishing P8. I just really hope I can hold on to the position now. Because if I don't, then well, I'm gonna be beyond pissed if I don't hold on to P8 at this stage. I just knew the AI would basically just go into blitz me in terms of how much more pace they have around here. But again, P8. It's probably the best I could ask for at this stage. As long as I don't keep spinning. Oh, fuck you, menu. And now... Fuck! Okay, now I'm pissed. I was running P8, and then suddenly that happened. Well, I kind of knew it was going to happen at some point. Well, I'm still running inside the top 10 at least, so... Well, I guess if the AI weren't going to punish me for the misdeed, then they would certainly punish me for something else. Yeah, I'll be lucky if I can even hold on to... I will be lucky if I can even hold on to P9 at this stage. Because I had to get wrecked by the leaders, and now I am ultimately pissed. Well, fuck it. At this stage, I really don't care what happens anymore. If someone does manage to rack out in front of me, then it'll make me a little bit better, but right now I'm pretty pissed. Because I had to get wrecked by the leader, and ultimately the leader, at the end of the day, thought I wasn't going fast enough, and he basically thought, for whatever reason, he was just going to wreck me and make my hard and struggling day even worse. And right now, I literally just want to punch him in the face. At least if this ever happened in real life, I would definitely want to punch him in the face for doing something like that. Because that is just how pissed I am right now. Yep. Fuck, 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 fuck. You know what? I'm not even going to attempt pushing on this lap. I'm literally just going to go about as slow as I can and hope that whatever happens, I do manage to hold on to the position. I was running in P8 as well, But then suddenly, just like that, the leader had to force me into the pits. Again! That is just how demoralized I am right now. I really do wish that could have taken him out. Oh well. Well, at least I can say no one's behind me, so whatever. I don't care anymore.
Now the race positions.
Well, if I thought I was going to come away with P7, I was clearly proven otherwise. Because even though I was losing positions once I knew the two Hondas got past me, basically my day was fucked once I got forced into the pits. And that wasn't even of my doing. But the leader just decided he was gonna make my already fucked up day even worse. By fucking me in the closing stages and just putting me in the pits.
Well, with today's let's see the championship.
I hate everyone in this game.
Season so far then for the new Volvo driver. At the moment he's putting the professionals to shame.
You can say that, Tiff, but I'm certainly not happy about it, because first of all, fuck Brands Hatch in the wet, fuck the AI, and fuck menu. I wish I could say I'm glad I clinched the championship, but sadly, I'm not really that satisfied because I had to get wrecked in the closing stages of the race when I could have fought for P8. That could have been the position. That should have been my position as well, but they decided otherwise. I wish I could end off this video on a more positive note. Aside from me clinching the championship, which is something, I just want to get this game over with.